Boris Johnson says he wants a snap election.
I've just been to see Her Majesty the Queen earlier on, and she agreed to dissolve Parliament for an election. And I want you to know, of course, that I don't want an early election. No one much wants to have an election in December, but we've got to the stage where we have no choice.
I have great relationships with many of the leaders, including Boris. He's a fantastic man, and I think he's the exact right guy for the time. You and he get together, it's an unstoppable force.
Good evening. There's been a potentially significant shift in the dynamics of the upcoming election, caused by the Brexit Party's decision not to contest those seats won by the Conservatives last time. Good evening. We start with one of the key issues in this election campaign, the future of the NHS, and Labour's allegation today that the health service is at risk or even for sale to American firms in a trade deal after Britain leaves the EU.
I have to put it to you. How come you're prepared to comment on other people's children when you won't talk about your own?
Well, actually, I don't comment on other people's children.
I've got to read it again to you. Are you serious? The children are ill-raised, ignorant, aggressive and illegitimate.
Well, I think what people want to hear is what plans...
No, there is a trust issue, Mr. Johnson. How many children do you have?
Look, I love my children very much, but they are not standing at this election.
No.
And I'm not, therefore, going to comment.
The leaders of Britain's biggest parties were all invited. 5 of them are here. We kept the invitations open to the leaders of the Conservative Party and the Brexit Party. They have not taken up their places yet. Instead, a reminder, the ice caps are melting as politicians around the globe fail to cut greenhouse gas emissions in time to stop rising temperatures.
Come on, Good Morning Britain, and deliver on your promise to talk to Piers and Susanna. We're ready to go. We're live on ITV right now. Prime Minister, you have an earpiece in my pocket. You're more welcome to come on. Right, you can take it inside, into the freezer.
You've gone into the fridge.
There's a bunker.
Our exit poll is suggesting that there will be a Conservative majority when all the votes are counted.
Joe Swinson, Scottish Liberal Democrats, 19,528. And I declare that Amy Callaghan is elected to serve in the United Kingdom Parliament.
It is 6 minutes past 5 in the morning. We are now in a position to say that this election of 2019 formally has been won by the Conservatives.
We will get Brexit done on time by the 31st of January. No ifs, no buts, no maybes.
So a majority of 124 there for the government in that vote.
Breaking news from the UK now, of course, the UK Parliament voting to pass a final vote, in fact, to pass the Brexit deal from Prime Minister Boris Johnson.
The crews are heading into danger and almost certain whiteout. They are trying to contain fires which are moving with a frightening ferocity.
People don't really understand it until you actually see it coming at you in a wall of flame.
This was a swift, precise military strike that has huge, unpredictable and possibly long-term consequences. The target was one of Iran's most senior leaders. Qasem Soleimani was in a convoy at Baghdad airport when it was struck by 3 American missiles. Iran is now threatening a violent retaliation. A Pentagon statement made clear that it was President Trump who gave the order for the assassination.
In the past 2 weeks, the number of cases of COVID-19 outside China has increased 13-fold. There are now more than 118,000 cases in 114 countries. We have therefore made the assessment that COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
Many people are asking the question, and it has to be legitimate, as to why, if you're trying to delay the spread of the virus, why we basically seem to be allowing society to continue as normal.
And also allow enough of us who are going to get mild illness to become immune to this, to help with the sort of whole population response.
What sort of percentage of people need to have contracted the virus?
Probably about 60% or so.
From this evening, I must give the British people a very simple instruction. You must stay at home. If you don't follow the rules, the police will have the powers
to enforce, including through fines and dispersing gatherings.
Derbyshire Police has defended this video it published last week, which used a drone to show people visiting the Peak District. A former Supreme Court judge called it disgraceful and says police have to separate government advice from enforceable laws.
The spread of the coronavirus has passed a significant milestone. There are now more than 1 million confirmed cases worldwide, although the true number could be much higher.
Downing Street has just confirmed that the Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, has tested positive for coronavirus.
But you don't hear them talking about COVID-19. That name gets further and further away from China, as opposed to calling it the Chinese virus.
Today I'm instructing my administration to halt funding of the World Health Organization while a review is conducted.
The strongest storm in decades strikes the nearby coast, but the storm is not the only worry here. More than 200 people are cramped into the small shelter amid the coronavirus pandemic.
The Open Skies Treaty, ratified by 34 countries, allows unarmed military surveillance flights over each country's territory. It was primarily intended to promote openness and transparency between nuclear superpowers, the U.S. and Russia. Now, President Donald Trump is withdrawing from the agreement, saying Russia took unfair advantage of it.
Brazil has now surpassed China's official death toll from the coronavirus, but the country's president continues to downplay the threat from the virus.
Bolsonaro, who sneered at the threat from the start, said this about the rising toll. So what? I'm sorry. What do you want me to do?
Cities across the United States remain in a state of high tension tonight as the country braces itself for another wave of protests over the death of George Floyd.
Protesters in Atlanta targeted CNN's headquarters, and in Brooklyn, police used force to break up crowds.
He was the latest in a string of African-American men to die through police action.
Thousands of far-right supporters from various organisations descended on Parliament Square. They came, they said, to protect a monument, a statue of Churchill that had already been boarded up to prevent vandalism. The events in the US have triggered debates about the state of race relations in Britain.
Returning now to our top story, in China's parliament has this hour approved national security laws that bypass Hong Kong's legislature.
Lebanon, the capital Beirut has been hit by a massive explosion. You can see the plume of smoke rising into the blue sky there.
The skyline of San Francisco looking more like an image from Mars. The orange glow from wildfires burning miles away, shrouding the city's landmarks, the smoke blocking out the sun.
The Fox News decision desk can now project that former Vice President Joe Biden will win Pennsylvania and Nevada, putting him over the 270 electoral votes he needs to become the 46th president of the United States.
Keep in mind the Trump campaign is in the midst of waging legal challenges in several states.
If you count the legal votes, I easily win. If you count the illegal votes, they can try to steal the election from us.
The government rightly set up the Independent Learn Review led by Wendy Williams. In the wake of that, they suspended flights to Jamaica. So the question today is, why have they resumed those flights? In light of the scandal of people who arrived in this country as children, how can he guarantee the House that there are not people on those flights who are actually British nationals?
Where the British public are absolutely shocked and appalled that the party opposite now stand up for the murderers, the rapists, the sex offenders, and absolutely are not doing the right thing when it comes to ensuring that foreign national offenders are removed from our country. This party is a party of law and order, and we will continue to do the right thing and keep the British public safe.
In a sudden turn today, the British government warned that a new strain of the virus is, quote, out of control. Several European countries have now restricted travel to the UK.
gathered together in the heart of our nation's capital for one very, very basic and simple reason: to save our democracy. We have hundreds of thousands of people here, and I just want them to be recognized by the fake news media. Turn your cameras, please, and show what's really happening out here, because these people are not going to take it any longer.
Capitol Police are on the House floor addressing the security incidents that are ongoing at the Capitol. Protesters wearing red Make America Great Again hats who have breached the Capitol building and are outside the Senate chamber.
We will not take it anymore. We will stop the steal. We will not let them silence your voices. We're not going to let it happen.
Fucking